Hey there YouTube, Nadir Abbas here from Codingverse, and in this short tutorial we'll be talking about bcrypt, which is a package from npm for npm. And it basically, what it does, it hashes strings, meaning if you want to store your user's password, you have an application for which you want to make an authentication system, and you want to store your users' passwords, and obviously you don't store plain text passwords, you hash them. So this is the package you can use for Node.js to hash those string plain text passwords. So let's get started. I will do npm init to create a package.json file, and I will do -y so I don't have to answer any questions. Okay, we've got an package.json here. I will create a new file here called index.js, and I will install, let's install the bcryptjs package, npm I bcryptjs. There is another one that is bcrypt. Make sure you're at bcryptjs. Okay, I think it's done here. Okay, and I also have a never mind, I don't think I should use nodemon here. Okay, so this is the index.js file. Let's bring in the package we installed, that is bcrypt. Okay, I think I misspelled that. bcryptjs. Okay, here we got it. So I've imported it and named it as bcrypt, the variable. Now let's create another variable containing a string. Password is equal to my password 123, and okay. So now what I want to do is I want to hash it. So for hashing, we can do another thing that is called salting, or we can insert, if this is your password, this my password, here you can see, even if you hash it, like its hash would look like this, I don't know, like hashes do look like this, but there are some things called rainbow tables, where the hackers use it for a brute force attack. So sorry for that. So they can basically, oh my god, stop please. So I was talking about salting. So what hackers do, they basically do a brute force attack. They try different combinations of password. If they get access to your hashed password, they have rainbow tables, and they use that hash to compare with the rainbow tables and get the value of the hash if the value is present in the rainbow tables. It's a big huge database. Containing values of different hashes. So to prevent from that, what we can do is insert salts in it. Like if you have a salt, like my salt. If you have salt, my salt, like this, you would insert your salt at multiple places in the password string, like this, my salt, and then in here my salt, and then in here my salt, like that. Okay, so we can do that as well with bcrypt, the salting procedure. So let's do that. First of all, what we want to do is to get the salt. So we will do is bcrypt. By the way, I'm gonna use the async method. You can also go to their documentation at npmjs.com/packages/bcryptjs to take a look at the synchronous version of the methods. I'm gonna use asynchronous. So bcrypt dot get salt, and it basically takes in a hash. No, it doesn't take in a hash. What we want to do is give the password, and then yeah, then we want to do a callback here, which will contain nope, it's about generating the salt. So for that we want to do a 10 here, which means the number of rounds you want to give it. Then we want to give it the password, which is our variable. Then you want to give it a callback. Okay, this will be the callback. It will return error and salt. So let me do an arrow function. So if error, then we can say console.error, error. Otherwise, and then error. Otherwise, if there is no error, what we can do is we can do bcrypt. So we've got the salt right now. The salt is stored in this variable, this parameter, that the get salt return. It is not get salt actually, it is gen salt. Sorry about that. So bcrypt dot now we want to use this salt to hash our password. So that hash, we want to do the password again, and now what we want to do is give it a salt. Yep, give it a salt. And by the way, we don't want to give the password to the salt because that is generating a password, so it will only take 2 parameters, and the number of rounds and the callback function. So bcrypt.hash will have the password, which is stored right here, and the salt and another callback function, which will return error and response. Not error and response, error and hash. And let me do a error function right here, and if when I do the same thing, if error console.log console.error error. Otherwise, if we got the hash, we will just console.log this is the hash, like this, and we'll print this out. Let me try and run it. Let's see if it works or not. Okay, we got the hash. This is the hash, and this is the hash string you would store in your database. And not you won't you won't be able. I mean, why should you store this plain text? You should store this, and even if a hacker gets access to your hashed string, he won't be able to crack it using the rainbow tables because you used salting in it. So we got the hash. Now, as you would use this in your application, how can you compare it with plain text passwords? Let's say a user wants to log into his account, and he puts plain text password. How would you able to decrypt this password and then match this password to the plain text password and tell if the user has input the right password and or wrong passwords? So if he has put the right password, he will get logged in, otherwise he will see an error or some kind. So how can you do that? Let me copy this hashed string and store it in a variable. Constant hashed version is equal to this. Now let's get rid of this function. So we got the hash string and the password as well. So to compare, what we want to do is bcrypt also allows us with that, provides us with a nice little method. You can perform bcrypt dot compare, and this will take the string and the hash, as you can see in this pop-up. So the first argument will be password, that is the plain text password, and second version will be the hashed version, hashed version. And I guess it returns a promise. And if you're not like familiar with promises, um, you can see, let's see their documentation right here. So the compare, actually we need to give it a callback function which has an error and a res parameter. You can go to this link here and take a look at this wonderful package. And also it's not like MD5 or SHA1, which are pretty, you know, they are not secure. They are not secure. They have a lot of exploits that they could be broken with those exploits. But bcrypt is the most uses the most secure hashing algorithms, so don't worry about that. So we'll give a callback function right here, error and response, and we'll do the same thing if error. What we're gonna do is console.error error. Otherwise, what we're gonna do is we want to do console dot no we want to do as if res is equal to true, or you can simply do if res meaning that the password compared successfully, meaning this plain text password is the correct password. Then what we're going to do is the console.log correct password. Otherwise, what we're going to do is console.error, not error, console.warn wrong password. Let's try that out. Let me clear the console out and run this node index, and you can see it says correct password. But what if we do 123, I add a 4 in here and try that out again, and it says wrong password. Okay, as you can see here, we have successfully compared the two passwords, the hashed version and the plain text password. So this was basically it has a lot of other methods like compare sync and gensol sync, the synchronous methods if you want to do it synchronously. I like to do it asynchronously, but you can also do it synchronously if you want. You can just check their documentation right here, and it has the API section, and it has the reference to all of its methods. You can also get rounds using the hash. It will tell how many rounds were used here. The more rounds you use, the more time it will take to generate hashes and solves and all that, but the more secure it will be. So thank you guys, that was it. If you liked the tutorial, please like this video and subscribe my channel. Till next time.